My name is Bruno Calatayud. I'm here today to talk to you about specific markets that we want to touch with our products inside SolidWorks. So I'm going to talk about woodworking markets and our solutions to answer it. Before to start, let me talk about a little of our company, EFICAD, that is an editor and integrator of CAM solution dedicated to woodworking for 30 years. We come from France and we grow on this market with the first installation of a CNC machine and many others since then. We always work on the evolution of this market, of this solution, regarding the new technologies coming with the machines and the need of the customers. Facing the challenges of this market, we truly believe that the next step will be the transition to the 3D, and we have chosen to integrate SolidWorks as our partner to develop our future solutions and our international development. Let's just talk a little bit about the woodworking market. It's first of all about materials, so different type of materials like solid wood, like panel management. I will go inside details for that, but also mixing of different type of material in the same project, like for example, insertion of glass, metal, and so on. With this material, our customers are creating every day hundreds and maybe thousands of different parts and family of parts that force that to develop different professions. So they have like that developed different human skills, and these skills have been transformed during the years to specific tool production. Regarding the different type of companies, so we can find in woodworking markets companies from industrial with a lot of equipment, but at the same time also people with just 2-3 people in the company and little workshop. So what are the challenges on this market for this type of customers? We can find 3 of them. Like I explained, we have this specificity on the woodworking market to have many parts and many different type of projects, various projects, and we will be facing that every day with our customers. The second aspect is about the CNC machine. So we see that all of our customers, most of them, will have CNC machines, and with the specific technologies that we can have on the woodworking markets. And finally, in addition of the CNC machine, there is a lot of different equipment on the workshop, like for example, edge bender, labeling system, and so on. And we need to communicate from the CAD system to these equipments very easily. So how are we going to face that with SWOOD, with our solutions? First of all, like I explained, with the different type of material, let's have a look about the panel processing. So the panel is, like you know, divided in different layers, and in each individual layers you can find different parameters, different data that we'll need at the end for the production. So let's see how we have integrated that in SolidWorks environment. You can now, with SWOOD, directly drag and drop your material and have all the management of the panel process very easily and available. For example, the management of the grain direction, the management of stock extension, if we need to resize the panel, is natively present and available for the production at the end. There is no impact for that when you create your SolidWorks design, but all the data will be at the end available. We can also combine with different type of material. For example, a compound material where you will have different layers. Also, the laminating process are going to be available and using drag and drop to complete unique SolidWorks parts, but have all the information at the end for the data production. We will manage a different thickness, and we'll be able, again, to have all the information in the panel information, with the possibility to have different layers, the laminates, orientation of the grain, only for laminates, and so on. Let's have a look now about edge bending. So here again, we have a specific dedicated library for edge bending process that will embed all the finishing information. Thickness will be, of course, including, and also the finishing for the shape, top and bottom, and the connection between two edge bends. We have, after that, easily the possibility to find the information about the order and to change it very quickly with just drag and drop. Another type of things that are necessary in the woodworking market is all the hardware insertion. So like we said, many projects, many type, many parametric objects, and many rules that can come from expertise of the customer or directly from a catalog. So let's see how we have integrated that in SWOOD and inside SolidWorks. So we are going to show quickly how we are going to build this type of furniture by using different features. We have embedded in SWOOD a connector feature where we'll be able to detect the different panel interference and have the possibility to manage that and to insert, after all, a full parametric rule. So you can save in your library your rules. It's completely customizable, and you will have the insertion of the hardware of the holes directly done. At the end, like any type of SolidWorks feature, you have the possibility to edit again and have the change applied on one or on the full definition of your project. So that's going to complete your SolidWorks assembly with the hardware, with the holes, and we'll be able, like that, to change also the different thickness with the material insertion and move the parts regarding the new thickness of the project. In addition of connectors, we also have a specific feature that is the SWOOD box feature. So that's a SolidWorks sub-assembly. You have the possibility to use drag and drop again to complete the project and embed at the same time a little configurator. So for you, it's a possibility to create different design of scenario of design and embed that and expose to the users directly what we want to customize. Here again, at any time, we will have the possibility to directly edit the feature, come back to the definition of our project, and change everything. We'll be also able to provide and to embed some standard libraries for the hinges, for the drawer slides, and so on. And at any time, again, when we change, we can resize the box environment by new selection on the SolidWorks project. So you can see here very quickly, we will directly embed all information and also the machining, like for example, here the holes for the slide definition of my drawer. And let's just finish with some legs. So at the end, we have a full product completely defined with all the hardware, all the manufacturing information, and in addition, fully parametric. So we can easily change these dimensions and have all the rules coming from our expertise directly inside the project. If we think about woodworking solution, we need to think also about CNC machines. And in woodworking, you know that there is a lot of specificity for these machines. We can find, for example, flat table for nesting process, point-to-point with beam, rails, and so on. But also a lot of different technologies regarding the tooling, the drilling head information, the aggregates, the evacuation of material with dust and chips using suction hood, for example, and all the positioning of the part with the work table management, with rails and pods, or with clamping system. The last part of the woodworking machine is about the brand of machines that we are able to manage with SWOOD. So with our 30 years expertise, we, of course, cover the most brand on the market, and directly with their interface. So we will go directly to the same interface for the operator with one program created on the machine or coming from the office. So how we integrate our CAM solution? We have here a full definition of tooling and a full definition of specific tools with the aggregates possible, natively present in the SolidWorks environment. We will be able to insert and create our sequence of machining very easily by dragging our tools and creating some selection or auto selections, for example, for the flat cut. We can define our settings, customize the information of machining, and save that on library to be able to reapply on same part or other parts the same strategy. At the end, we have the possibility to define simulation inside SolidWorks environment with the possibility to find all the technology we talk about, like the drilling head. Again, technology is about work table. So we can directly display the work table, change the position manually, or create specific statements that will be able to load parametrically on the panel definition. Of course, as part of SolidWorks, we need to be fully parametric. So that means every time we will change again the dimensions to resize the project and have the rules with the new hardware update, we'll be able to update the trajectories and the toolpath at the same time. We have also embedded a full nesting module. So that means we have the possibility to optimize the material by defining your sheet that you can have in your workshop and very quickly embed one or several SolidWorks projects with different quantities and have the result of each individual sheet available. All the settings for the nesting are available, and just by clicking here, we will be able to provide the result quickly. That will be done first in a preview window when you can edit and change the orientation of your nesting, but that will be also possible to have inside SolidWorks specific assembly to complete with new machining using drag and drop like we have seen in the previous side of the cam. So each sheet is individual and provided with different programs, and we can complete like that everything. The last challenge is about how we can populate and propagate the information from the CAD to the workshop. There is two main processes on the woodworking workshop. The first one is point-to-point with a beam saw or with nesting. After that, we have both information needed to find the panel with labeling system, and after we can go through edge bender or through CNC to finish the part. But we have also many different options. We can, for example, after the beam saw, have a change to first size the panel and apply the edge band at the end, and complete with many other information like sanding or finishing assembly your cabinet, your project. So for that, in SWOOD, we have defined a full report, completely customizable. So we are going to analyze all the data we have seen from the other videos, from the material, from the orientation of the grain, for the edge bending information. And we are going like that to create some documents. So we will have different base of documents with the possibility to define some lists, to have information in a CSV or in Excel file. We have also another standard that will be an HTML base, so that will offer our customers to save on their network and without any other software, navigate in different tabs to find all the information for the projects. So all the cut list, all the details regarding edge bands, how we need to apply it, all the hardware, all the programs with definition of labels will be available directly inside. We can also create summary of products to directly have all the information. Like I said, this is a customizable report and generation of documents. So for example, we can find another type when we will go through the nesting module with the definition of the programs, all the tooling information for this sheet definition, the parts list, and again, the labels by sheet. Okay. So what we have seen here is regarding the 3 challenges that we find on the woodworking market: to manage the machines, to manage the variety of many different projects with many different parts, many different material, and how we can show that in our workshop. We have SolidWorks and SWOOD that is here to help you. So that's a full and global woodworking solution that we can also complete in a full woodworking ecosystem with additional SolidWorks solution like the PDM, Visualize for rendering, or SolidWorks Composer to create notice at the end. Thank you very much. Спасибо. If you have some questions, feel free to ask. She's bringing the micro.
Чертежи создаются
The drawings,
автоматически.
are they created automatically?
Drawing is created automatically.
It's SolidWorks feature, yeah.
Да, это функция.
Yeah.
Можно микрофон, пожалуйста? Микрофон есть? Автоматическое создание чертежей
Automatic drawing generation
функционал
is
SolidWorks
a standard SolidWorks feature, and it has nothing to do with SWOOD.
Чертежи создаются
Yes,
автоматически.
drawings are created automatically.
The drawing with the panel, and every time we use the panel, we embed the drawing at the same time. So we can copy panel with drawing inside to automate these parts.
При любых изменениях, допустим, панели, добавлением панели, это автоматически
With any
переносится
changes,
на
like adding a
чертежи,
panel, it automatically
SolidWorks.
applies to SolidWorks drawings.
Здравствуйте. Вопрос такого рода.
Hello, my
Когда
question is,
устанавливается
when,
фурнитура,
fixtures are being
обязательно
installed,
необходима
it
плоскость
is
стыковки двух
necessary
деталей для
to
установки
align the
фурнитуры.
planes of two
Есть ли
parts.
возможность избежать
Is it
этого?
possible to
То
avoid
есть
this?
установка фурнитуры на
Setting
расстоянии.
a remote
Второй вопрос.
installation of
Создание
fixtures.
базовых
And the second question,
деталей сборки
it's about base
для,
parts, basic parts
вместо
for
стандартных.
assembly
Возможно ли это?
instead
И как
of
это сделать?
standard ones. Is it possible to do, and how to do
Вы
it?
имеете в виду,
Do you
первое,
mean
это
first
по вопросу
regarding
Фурнитура.
фурнитуры,
it's
да,
fixtures.
это, вы имеете в виду зазор
You
между
mean
двумя деталями?
the
Да, его не
clearance
должно быть,
between two parts? That's right. It shouldn't be there. Two parts should touch each other when fixtures are installed. Is it possible to make it so that the parts shouldn't be in touch one with the other, but furniture would still be installable? Yes, of course you can do it. You just set up your parameters and assign them when developing the fixture. When developing the fixture, yes. And the second question, base parts, assembly, drawing, and what else was there? These files. Can I create my own?
Отчет.
You mean the report? No, not the report. When creating a new part, there's a file called basic panel. Yes, you can create absolutely any material, absolutely any panel, and you're only limited by the specificity of your production. I'm talking about the property files that are basic. Foundational. Can I just translate this question to the speaker? Of course. In SolidWorks, there are base models of property files.
из которых создаются
from
новые
based on
детали
which
и
new
новые
parts are
сборки.
created and new assemblies.
Как можно
How
создать новый
can you
тип
create
файла
a
и
new
прикрепить
file
его,
type
не знаю, к линейной
and attach it,
детали,
let's say, to a linear
детали
part,
плитного материала,
not
он базовым
plate
является
part,
панель, а, например,
but, for
не
instance,
знаю,
a linear
какой-нибудь
part,
линейный профиль светильника.
some linear strip on a lighting
We have a template
equipment.
in the software, and can we create other template? For example, for lightings, or it's a software work only for woodworking and with panels.
The main part of the panel management for material management is for panel. After the methodology of parametric features can be applied for other application. We can embed the SWOOD box with light to insert the light, create the holes. That's something, yeah, can be.
Исключительно программа работает для панелей.
The software works exclusively for panels, so for woodworking.
Максимум, что вы можете сделать со
And the
светильниками,
maximum what you can do with lighting strips, you can add something for, elegant view of a presentation.
Изменение базового языка в SWOOD.
What about changing the basic language?
Да,
in SWOOD?
связанное вот изменение языка и
language changes
валюты. Я так
and
понимаю,
currency.
этот параметр
I understand
меняется,
this
валюта меняется
parameter.
язык.
You change the currency and you change the language. Is there a connection? Well, not exactly, because you can initially choose any language, and Russian will be available literally next month. So the software has a Russian version. As to a currency, you mean the currency that SWOOD calculations are done in? Yes, it is believed it's related to the materials. Such things as labor costs or such like are not covered. You can only calculate the cost of materials. You can calculate the cost of materials used to produce a certain part. Standard SolidWorks configuration doesn't always work well with programming variants in SWOOD. So creating a configuration of a part or an assembly as defined in SolidWorks, and then to describe the model behavior or assembly behavior in SWOOD. Can you comment on that? It doesn't always work correctly. You mean the configuration, the SWOOD configurations don't work always correctly? Yes, for each part in an assembly, you can create some behavior rule. How can we pick up these rules in SWOOD?
If we have rules in assembly for each part, how we can link these rules from SolidWorks model to SWOOD model? Can we make it?
It's not on this side. It's
the same.
no. You want a rule from SolidWorks to be in SWOOD? No, we do the other side, but not this side. After, we cannot create something in SolidWorks, create the rule, and put it on SWOOD. We can duplicate the rule, but not doing the opposite. After, I think we don't have too much time for questions. If we want to discuss later, I think we need to let the place for the next.
Мой коллега предлагает вам
My
пообщаться уже
colleague
наедине,
suggests that you have a one-on-one discussion with him,
всех не задерживать.
so as not to take everybody else's time. So if you could come up to him right after the presentation, and he'll be able to answer all your questions. Where, if you don't mind? Where?
Пожалуйста, в холле, потом
You can pick a
если вы его
place in the
дождетесь,
lobby.
я думаю, что он сразу к вам подойдет, и вы можете
If you just
пообщаться.
wait
Хорошо?
for him, he'll come up to you and you'll be able to talk. Okay?
Спасибо.
Thank you.
Yeah, other questions?
Какие решения есть по лазерной обработке дерева?
What solutions do you have for laser wood processing?
We already have the questions. For now, we didn't drive any machine, but it depends of the technology of the machine and the language of we need to communicate with the machine. But we really have received some requests for that. But we don't have specific things. We don't have
specific, but you don't have it, but you can.
It depends how it's managed on the machine. We know sometimes it's only one tool with diameter definition, so we can define that, but not.
В данном случае такого нету, но
In this particular case, we don't
каких-то
have
особенных
anything like
случаях,
this, but in
можно, в
some
принципе,
special
сделать
cases,
конфигурацию
you
в
can
плане
do a
лазерной
configuration
обработки, там,
for
отверстий.
laser processing, let's say, of holes.
Во всяком случае, этого
And
здесь нет.
at
Это
least
сделано
it's
специально
not part of the solution.
для обработки.
It's done specifically for
Резцы и различные
CNC
пилы
processing,
для
so
лазерных
cutters,
таковой
all
нет.
sorts of, saws. You don't have it for laser.
We stay available. We need to let the place for the next presentation, but we stay available in the hall if you have additional questions, of course.
Если у вас еще есть вопросы, вы, в принципе, можете их задать, уже находясь в холле, и непосредственно пообщаться с моим коллегой, потому что нам нужно освобождать для следующей презентации помещение. Всем спасибо. Скажем спасибо моему коллеге Бруно.